Good evening to all your racing fans out there, and a happy new year of 2021. A year that can only develop better than the one before. And this is the first Slydog Racing League event of the new year. Welcome everyone, and this stream is presented by Grace Bespoke, your printing and embroidery specialists. Visit gracebespoke.co.uk for more. Yes, this is race number 10 and 11 of the ongoing second season of the Slydog Racing League. All those fans out there who already know Slydog, I probably do not have to mention again, but to all those who aren't familiar yet, the Slydog Racing League has some more or less unique rule settings for themselves, for ourselves. That means we see two tracks here tonight. Tonight it will be the races in Austin, USA and Mogyorod near Budapest, Hungary. These are the two tracks. First, the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. There we will see a qualifying. Usually it should be a 18 minutes qualifying. Right now it is set to a one shot, so maybe in case our host Trem is listening to me right now, he might be able to correct that, or maybe I missed some information, because in the first season Slydog always had a one-shot quali. For the second season the guys wanted to have a 18 minutes qualifying, so let's see how we will do it. And yeah, then we will see a 25% race duration in Austin. That's always something around 14, maybe 15 laps or something similar. And for the second race, the top 10 result of the Austin race will be reversed. So whoever finishes in P10 in Austin will be granted the pole position in the Hungarian race afterwards. The car performances are equal, of course. Safety car VSC is on. Full vehicle dynamic weather. This could be something to watch, because both tracks can be wet. We see strict corner cutting. Corner cutting is rather not the big issue I would like to assume, but rather track limits. So this could be something to watch. The used assists you see here, so it's up to medium traction control and manual gearbox, manual pit release, manual DRS and all that stuff. So yeah, I have a short look into our chatting room to see about the quali info. I'm not the first one who has already mentioned that, so Liam Osborne has been on it too. Yeah, and Tram, our host, has changed it to what I mentioned earlier, a 18 minutes qualifying. This is something like a 18 minutes free practice, you could say, and the fastest lap times equal the starting grid. So what's important about the Slydog Racing League? We are midway through the second season. I sadly cannot depict you the standings, but I will just run it down for you. Our leader is Mr. Granty Boy. Let's have a look if he has checked into the lobby. And this is me, this is Trem. I do not see our leader. This could be something to watch. He's the leader with 210 points, and 38 points behind him is Chris Panda. He is there. Good evening. And in case Chris Panda should win both the races tonight, he needs both victories, then we might see a new overall leader, in case he's not maybe delayed and will be with us in just a bit. Hopefully, I would like to say. I see him online, so I suppose he's not too far away. And yeah, in P3 then the Chatty Duck, the one and only duck from Canada. Always nice to have you on board. Nice that you can free some time in your afternoons, I would like to assume, to be with us here. And in the new year we do see a few new names. That is, for example, TTV Ryan 123 or Warren Frank from very far away. Similar time zone, but far away, from South Africa. Who else is there? David Lawson, good evening. New FC fan Liam Osborne, Butters, Brian Wheeler. And there's another new name I wanted to bring in. That's Bilton Mac IRC. Hello and welcome to you. My special friend from overseas, Zugzitz. I always love to pronounce your name. And yeah, likewise to our driver standing, we have the constructors, of course, too, that their racing point is leading by far with 281 points. Of those 281, 210 points were caught by this guy. Here he is. Welcome, Mr. Granty Boy. Yeah, Racing Point the leader, 79 points ahead of McLaren, the team of the second man in the overall standings, Chris Panda, and his teammate, our host Trem. They have combined 202 points. And in third position, Mercedes with 150 points by Chatty Duck and James Punt. So that's it for the moment. We are a bit delayed, but this is not a big problem, I would like to say. And for the moment, as I see, we are in the background, we are clearing with our reserve drivers who might be able to jump in spontaneously to fill the grid. But now it's too late. The session timer has started to tick down. And here we go to Austin, around the Cobra. There you see it, the platform to watch the whole track. And this rather new track is around this snake building. The Circuit of the Americas, one of the rather newer tracks in Formula One, is part of the racing series since 2012. One of the many tracks that were composed by Hermann Thielke, And like most of the new tracks, we see more or less the same characteristics, meaning one endlessly seeming long straight and some medium or maybe fast-paced technical turns, and in sector 1 a combination of S's, that is a mixture of Silverstone and Suzuka. We will have a look about that. There is another new guy, Attavil, the 4th new guy in the new year. Good evening and welcome to you. Let's have a look who's the first one to go on the track. This was an Alfa Romeo. This is Bran Flix. Here we go. So let's stay with him for the first outlap and installation lap, so to say, here. And this is the first sector, the S's, the technical turns, some mixture of Suzuka and Silverstone. Very unrhythmic and hard to go through. Let's see who of our boys will do it in the best and fastest way. And here's, as I mentioned, the entrance to the monstrously long seeming straight, the main straight, and the S zone, very long DRS zone. Followed by slow and medium paced turns here in sector 2. Especially on medium traction control, it's rather easy to lose the car right here. Albert David picked up the first penalty, +5 in the starting grid. This combination you should probably take in full throttle if you want to be fast. And with the last two left-handers, this is a lap in Austin. Now let's get in some more information about what is going on. So a lot of guys trying the first hot lap on mediums. We all know the Parc Fermé rule that says that you have to use the set of tire you've qualified into the top 10. So if you are in the top 10, you need to start the race with this set. From P11 and beyond, you have a free option of tire. In 25% races, the tire strategy is not the biggest issue. There's no big discussion about tactics, undercuts or whatever. It's rather coming into the pits one lap early or later. But still, you do have some more possibilities, some more options if you should somehow manage to be able to start on mediums, at least for the top 10. And the first time from Brown Flakes actually does not look too good. And yeah, Liam Osborne has been 2.5 seconds faster than Brown Flakes did. Let's compare this with real life times. We are already 3 seconds faster because the track record is a 1:36.1 posted by Charles Leclerc in 2019. So we have a lot of times that are posted right now. The pole sitter will probably change a few times in the next 1 or 2 minutes. For the moment, let's maybe have a look to someone who's on a hot lap. That's Slydog, but he is actually not on a hot lap anymore. You can see on the minimap the red color on the track means that his time is invalid. So he cut it a corner or exceeded the track limit somewhere. And let's stay with him for a moment and see if he might have enough of gasoline to... no, not enough in the tank to try another hot lap. So one set of softs is already wasted for him. Let's have a look what our leader is doing. Leader, at least in the overall standings, Granty Boy. As always, he's trying on mediums first, and the sector 2 time has been a pink one. Likewise to his car color, meaning he has posted the fastest sector time yet. And if he should be able to bring that home on mediums, this would already be another really hot performance by him early in the new year. Wow, Granty Boy is 1.2 seconds faster than Chris Panda, his main rival. Wow. This is actually just how we know Granty Boy. Just running and racing away from everyone. So thus far there is no one who is just within a second of Granty Boy, not even the guys who tried on softs. Whew, that's been a statement. So for the moment, let's maybe jump to someone who is on a hot lap. That's maybe David Lawson in his Alpha Tauri. He's one of those who doesn't even try on mediums. And this will probably not be a good time. Yep. Yeah, at least P8. At least in P8. Although we were able to watch him taking a wide lane in the last 2 left-handed turns. David Lawson, who is newly running on a wheel, pedals and wheel, at home in his living room. Something like a pretty cool Christmas gift. He already had to abort his first race. He wanted to try his first race on his wheel still in the old year, but then was just too unfamiliar. Let's see if he used the time since Christmas and trained a bit on his wheel. So we are right at the midway mark of this qualifying. We have not seen times from a bunch of guys still. One of them is our new driver Atavil. The game can't be right here because he cannot have a hot lap that's lasting 4 minutes now. There is the second Mercedes, James Punt in the last sector. Where will his first hot lap bring him to? P3, that's not bad, that's not bad. Oh, and in the meantime we have seen Albert de Witt in the second racing point. He's the only one. Now the second one. Now he and James Punt, those two guys are the only guys, the only drivers within a second of Granty Boy and the Grant even used the, in theory, slower tires. But at least we have two guys who are within a second, at least that. And Trem, our host, has stepped out of his car. Let's see if he'll return. I will dip it into the pits and we have a look at someone on a hot lap. Maybe the Ferrari of Bilton. And wow, what's going on here? We have a new pole sitter. I did definitely not expect that. Bilton Matt in the pole, beating Granty Boy by 0.006 of a second. Ooh, that is close. That is very close. But, big but, we have someone who, yeah, chases Granty Boy. And here's Brian Wheeler, who has just posted his first hot lap. That brings him into P8. The yellow color has more or less vanished. Oh ho ho! There was an Alpha Tauri, maybe David Lawson, who was running that far wide that he has destroyed one of the signs next to the track. It's a nice thing that drivers go away, so not to impede each other. It was either him or Butters. No, has to be Lawson. It was an Alpha Tauri and Butters is still in the pits, so had to be David Lawson. And new pole setter, Chris Panda. Chris Panda, there he is. On softs, he tried to go on mediums on his first hot lap. We have another +5 grid penalty. Chris Panda got rid of the mediums, mounted softs, and here we go. And Granty Boy has left the pits and is still on his mediums. Still on the mediums. He wants to try to improve his time, but this is the same set as he has run before. So whenever or if he starts the race on this set of tires, this is not an entirely new one anymore. He's going very slow here. I don't know if he's refiguring his strategy. No, he's trying it. He will not have enough time to have a third hot lap, so let's stay with him for a moment and let's see if he can really improve himself on this set of tires by actually 0.7 of a second. He needs to improve by 0.7. First sector, the S's. Looks rather smoothly. Sadly didn't see the intermission time due to some guys checking into the live stream. Good evening and hello to you. Let's have a look what the clock says at the end of sector 2. Ah, he's just improving by 1/10. This is not enough for the pole, but maybe enough for the front row. At the moment, maybe he will at least beat Bilton Matt. Maybe. One turn left. Let's see what's going to happen here. And Granty Boy is in P2. Gets closer to Panda, but did not beat him. Granty Boy is maximally in P2. There's his teammate Albert de Witt. Does not seem like he's on a hard lap, even though the game rules him to be on one. What is Jetty Duck doing? He is invalidating his time. So no improvement for the Duck. The time will run out. Maybe he has enough of gasoline with him to try another hot lap. If not, he is maximally in P6. Who else is running at the moment? Mercyman is not on a hot lap. He's probably finished. Butters is just entering the long straight. Chris Panda has gone out again. Chris Panda on his outlap, Bilton Matt on his outlap too, and Butters has invalidated his time too. It has been the same turn as just a few moments ago, Chatty Duck, so he is probably finished likewise. Who else do we have to have an eye on? UFC fan Liam is on an outlap right now. James Punt in the pits, Jetty Duck in the pits, so those two guys, the two Mercedes, are finished. And Duck has retired, has stepped out of his car, maximally in P6. Granty Boy likewise, we knew that already. What is Albert de Witt doing? He is improving himself by 3.5 tenths in Sector 2. This is not enough, by far not enough for the pole, but maybe he can jump ahead a bit. Can he maybe attack Chatty Duck? No, sorry, Granty Boy. Can he? He can't. He will stay in P4. He has improved himself, but not enough. And Bilton, the big surprise in the earlier minutes of the qualifying. What does the Ferrari do? Our new addition to Slydog. He is entering the long straight here. With one eye we stay with Chris Panda. Panda is still in Sector 1. And what is Bilton Matt doing? He is coming towards the end of Sector 2. Improving himself, but he has lost a bit of time. This is not enough for the first row. And Chris Panda barely improving, barely half a tenth. But if Bilton Matt is not able to improve himself by a lot, Panda will be safe anyway. And Mats has aborted it, likewise to Albert de Witt. That means Panda should be safe, and he has to be safe because his time is invalid. He has aborted it likewise. So I would say we are rather through, at least when speaking about the pole position conversation. Congratulations to Chris Panda for another pole position here in Austin. Let's have a look. Is there anyone left on a hot lap? I don't think so. Everyone has crossed checkered flag. or is in the pits. So this should be it for the moment. Let's wait a second until the CPU finishes the session. So this is the end of the qualifying and the official starting grid. Chris Panda and Granty Boy in the front row, but Granty Boy on mediums for the race start. Bilton Matt in 3, Albert de Witt in 4, but a +5 grid penalty. James Punt in 5, Slydog 6, Butters 7, 8 for Mercyman, 9 for New FC fan Liam, 10 for Liam Osborne, 11 Brian Wheeler, 12 Zigzits, P13 for Warren Frank, P14 David Lawson, 15 Bran Flake, 16 Trem, 17 Darren Mark, 18 Mogi, 19 Atterville, and in last position TTV Ryan. So the qualifying has been in fair weather, and just likewise the race will be, at least for the start. And yeah, we have a moment before the race starts. I will step aside for a bit. So the session has officially started. We have a installation lab. I am pretty happy about that, so it gives me a minute or two to sort things out, to get some informations in, and let's have a look about the tires used, especially for all the guys P10 and beyond. So the soft tire dominates the grid. Actually only 3 guys starting on mediums. That's Granty Boy, of course, as he has qualified on. That's Zigzits and David Lawson. Everyone else will start on softs. And for the race, let's have a look at the positions changed. And yeah, Granty Boy with his mediums will probably have a bit of disadvantage on the start, so all these guys around him on the softs should in theory have a better traction to start. Granty Boy and Bilton maybe collided here on the installation lab. Luckily, installation lab collisions aren't too severe, so they are ghosted now and have been put into their box, into the starting box. And here we see those 2 cars. Well, I hope they will not collide again in a few seconds when it matters then. The rundown to the first turn is not very long. It's actually just this up the hill a bit. And there's the first left-hander, first turn. It's a very wide turn, so the should not be the biggest problem. The turn allows multiple lanes. Further, you have a lot of space to run wide. So let's see how it all will go down the wire. The 5 red lights on, and the race has started. Austin, here we go. Not a good start for Granty Boy, not a good start on his mediums. Panda is rather safe. And then Granty Boy has lost a lot of positions, likewise to his teammate. Likewise, and there is a lot of debris flying, a lot of guys running on wide lanes. So turn 1 was not as big as a problem as turn 2 was. Then afterwards, David Lawson in last position. Maybe he's one of those who lost some debris. And Granty Boy in P4 lost some positions but got a bit back, I would like to say. Here we see him, Slydog, one of the big winners from the start. Likewise to James Punt, both Mercedes. First attack already very early from Granty Boy, but no chance yet. So for, I would like to say, 2 or 3 laps, the Mercedes will have an advantage on the softs, but then they will degrade rather fast. And then round about lap 5 plus minus, the medium of Granty Boy should be the better one. And Chris Panda is away. Chris Panda over 3 seconds, the gap to Punt already. Now the table will be confused, so please do not get confused likewise. The attack on Slydog. And, he's still there. Slydog, who looks ghosted. I doubt that he really is, but okay. And yeah, as I mentioned, the table is confusing here right now. That's always the same, for a bit of a problem of the game. Lap 2 is always chaotic, and there's the attack from the from the Ferrari. That's got to be Bilton Matt, and he is through for the moment. No, he's not. Slydog lost both positions, and now a sandwich of Granty Boy. New FC fan Liam is close likewise. They all leave each other a bit of breathing space. And Granty Boy did it. Granty Boy did it. Was able to crawl through the attack from Liam against Matt. Better lane now for Matt if he is still there. No, he isn't. So Bilton Matt tried to surprise his rivals there. At least he surprised me to attack. And Granty Boy is back in P3. Will we see the counter-attack from the duck? Ooh! Don't throw away your car on the acceleration here. So all of that happens in favor for Chris Panda. He just runs away from everyone. We are in lap 3 and he has almost 4 seconds, now even 4 seconds of gap to the second placed James Punt. And Slydog maybe now under pressure by Liam. So not dealing out pressure, but receiving some pressure from behind. We see a lot of guys close to each other. Maybe Liam Osborne here attacking Butters. And he's through. Few DRS equipped on this long straight. This is a big advantage, and Osborne made it happen here. We see Trem sneaking up by 6 positions to P10 and into the points. Albert de Witt was the second racing point that was involved in the collision in turn 2 or 3. Here he is, chasing Trem, but obviously did not have damage, has not been in the pits yet. Let's have a look about the tires. That could get interesting soon. David Lawson, who was the first one to pit, had to pit after some collision on the start. He is in last position on hards. He will probably try to go through. And what's going on with Granty Boy? He is close to James Punt here. Will attack him with the RS in just a bit. Oh, and there's another one. There's Slydog. There's a lot of going on here. Filmed for us by Liam. Everyone searching the slipstream of each other. Everyone DRS equipped except James Punt, of course. The two Mercedes fighting. And Bilton Matt is there too. Let's not forget about him. The two Mercedes fighting. James Punt seems to be troubled by his soft tires. Slightly push here against Liam. Lost the position to his teammate. James Punt lost the position to Chetty Duck. And none of them to stop yet. All of that brought to us here from the TV pot from Bilton Matt. The start finish straight is a DRS zone 2, but it's a very short one. And yeah, in these turns you actually do not want to chase each other because of, you have seen it right here from Liam, because of some dirty air that causes you to lose downforce. Bilton Matt does it very smoothly actually. He seems not to have these issues like Liam does. Probably his car is equipped with a lot more downforce then. And will there be the next attack from Matt against Liam? Ah, no. Just showing himself in the rearview mirror but not attacking it. And yeah, Liam did have the RS likewise, so the effect for Bilton Matt wasn't as big as usual. And let's see if James Punt or any of those guys will pit in here after 4 or 5 laps. Their soft sometimes start to degrade on this short distance races already, but no one did yet. James Punt is in trouble, I would like to call it, because he will be attacked by both these drivers on the long straight. Let's stay with Bilton Matt for one more lap, or for this lap. Let's see if Liam does have the problems here again. He seems like, yes he does, yes he does. Bilton Matt very close here in the S's, but this is not a section where you can attack, where you should attack. Maybe here, and he does, and he does, and he has gone through. He is through, and he probably was within the 1 second window when the DRS detection was. Yes, he was. He does have DRS too, so no chance for Liam to counter the attack. The Bilton is unable to attack Punt likewise. We see some yellow ahead. Already vanished, was right here in this turn. And Matt attacks. Oh, whoa, whoa, he didn't see him. Oh, that wasn't maybe the best decision. James Punt didn't see Bilton Matt and now lost his car. Almost lost his car. Ooh, hot situation here. Punt did not expect Bilton Matt to attack, and now all of those three guys are pitting in, and Liam jumped ahead of both of them. He was the one who could take advantage the most. Ryan has checked out, so we have our first DNF. A lot of pit stops here right now. Panda did not. He went through, and Granty Boy did. So Granty Boy, after just half the duration, Granty Boy went into the pits. We have a virtual safety car due to the DNF of Ryan here. Granty Boy, there he is, stopped for softs. That means his mediums got him through just got him through half the race, and he expects the softs to make him go until the end of the race. Let's see if that will work out. But yes, he does have to risk something. He was, before the pit stops, he was 6.5 seconds behind Panda. Brown Flakes has picked up a drive-through penalty, speeding under VSC. And we are back to green and Chris Panda in the pits. Let's have a look which tires he opts for. Yep, yellow. Makes the most sense for him in this situation. He needs to have at least one other compound, so he was not able to go through on softs again, so soft to softs is forbidden, and this is the situation. Now Granty Boy has closed in by a lot. He has closed the gap by 4 seconds. He is 2.3 seconds now behind Panda. Closing up still a lot, under 2 seconds now, because he uses the fastest soft tire. But there's another but. Let's have a look about the details, because Granty Boy has picked up a drive-through penalty. Ooh, how big is that? That was a speeding under VSC. I did not see it. I saw the information about Brown Flakes, but I did not see the info about the drive-through for Granty Boy. Oh, ho, ho. And that will make him drop a lot. We see a lot of penalties. Chris is one of the very few who did not get a +3. Ooh, almost lost his car on accelerating. I told you guys, in the qualifying, this is a turn where you can lose your car very easily. Granty Boy has closed the door to Chris Panda here. No, has closed the gap and now even attacks him. He even attacks him and is into the lead, but, big but, this will not last very long. He has, as far as I know, 3 laps of time to serve his penalty. He will probably try to stay out as long as possible so that the field, the gaps between each other are as big as possible, and that therefore he might not lose too many positions. We've seen a few late pit stops here. And yeah, Granty Boy is flying. Have a look at that. He has pulled out 2 seconds on Panda ever since he was overtaking him. But all of that is worth nothing. Let's see if he will serve his penalty in this lap. And he does. He does. He's into the pits, but not for some service on his car. He has to run through this pit lane, and this feels so damn long. How many positions will he lose? It's actually even not that much. Not that many. He is back to P3. And there is another Ferrari. Bilton Matt. Matt will not be able to attack Granty Boy anymore. Granty will just run away on his softs. And will now attack Liam in the DRS zone. Maybe even before that. No, not before that. Wheel to wheel into the DRS zone, and he has got him already before opening up the rear wing, and that leaves Liam to the mercy of Bilton Matt, attacking him with the RS side to side. Ooh, and Liam did not get around the corner. Braking issue for him, and Chatty Duck overtook him too. So that means Liam has lost 3 positions in 2 turns. And Bilton Matt is a bit struggling here too. That brings Chatty Duck into the podium discussion. 5 laps before the checkered flag. The 3rd position on the podium is still up for grabs. Yeah, Granty Boy was flying before his drive-through penalty. That caused him to lose actually only 1 position. Chatty Duck has overtook him. Is there the counter from Bilton Matt? No. Not yet. Not yet. And Liam, yeah, is not in striking distance. But he picked a penalty here, ignoring multiple warnings. I wanted to say that he will try to stay as close as possible to jump on any one of them if they make a mistake or if they collide. There's no one behind him. Bilton Matt is too far away to attack the duck here. He still has 3 more DRS zones of time, at least the big long DRS zones. Yeah, meanwhile Panda is safe. He had a more or less a bit boring race. Wouldn't call it boring, but a bit of a lonesome race. He was just overtaken once by Granty Boy. That lasted just 1 lap until Granty had to serve his penalty. There's always a bit of a lock tire from Chatty Duck in front. So he is on his limit. The duck is pushing. David Lawson is getting lapped here. Oh, Bilton Matt, don't exaggerate it. Don't exaggerate it. This will just bring in Liam into the discussion for P4. It seems like the duck has sneaked away a bit. Bilton Matt not in the DRS zone at the moment. It's very close. Detection is right here. Bilton Matt should be inside the DRS zone, but just barely. Well, we see some yellow. We saw some yellow somewhere here. Already vanished again. So Darren Mark is close to Brian Wheeler. Oh. Does have some issues here. It looks like his tires are heating. So looked like his rear tires were more or less heated or maybe already done. And yeah, 3 laps before the checkered flag, we see Mogi in P10. That would mean he will start the Hungarian race from the pole position. Next to him then would be James Punt. And in the second row, Trem and Albert de Witt. Trem had a very silent race. He has rather sneaked up. Oh, and there was... This is maybe the end of the race of David Lawson. Oh yeah, this is the end. David Lawson got disqualified for unsafe returning on the track. Yeah, so... His new wheel did not bring him much of luck in this race. And here we see Chris Panda. He is actually just 1.5 laps away from another race victory for him. Granty Boy is the fastest driver. He has always been, almost always. But he's just too far away. He just couldn't reach him after his penalty. And there's still some action going on. Albert de Witt has passed Trem and tries to do the same against Butters. Those two guys will see each other again in the next race. They will be close to each other again. It's just a question who is in front or behind. Let's have a look where Chris Panda is. He has passed the... no, he has just entered the long straight here. So, for one last lap, let's stay with Albert de Witt, at least for the long straight. Let's see if he can attack or even overtake the second Alpha Tauri. And here's the view of the penalty, so search your favorite driver and have a look about the gap. What does Albert de Witt do? He attacks him on the racing line outside. This should work. It did work. It did work. Congratulations. And there's the victory for Chris Panda. Congratulations to you. The next 25 points on your account, followed by Granty Boy. Had a drive-through penalty, but still a good result for him. Chetty Duck then completes the podium in front of Bilton Matt. Good race for him. On his first event of Slydog, UFC fan Liam in P5, Albert de Witt in 6, Butters 7, Trem finishes in P9, has dropped down due to penalties, Butters in 8, Trem 9, Mogi in 10, Mogi will be the pole setter for the next race, and Liam Osborne is the bad luck guy who does not get a point granted and will stay on his P11 for the second race. So Mogi has been ruled the driver of the day by the game, and yeah, as he will even start from pole position, it's worth even more. Here we see Michael Schumacher celebrating another victory. And here's the champagne! So, the final result after penalties from race 10. Chris Panda has won in front of Granty Boy and Chatty Duck. Then Bilton Matt, New FC fan Liam, P6 for Albert DeWitt, James Punt in 7, Butters 8, Trem 9, Mogi in P10, pole sitter for second race, as I mentioned, Liam Osborne then in 11, Mercyman on 12, Darren Mark on 13, Zigzitz, my special friend, on P14, Bran Flakes on 15, 16 for Brian Wheeler, Attaville finished in 17, and Warren Frank, the last one who crossed the checkered flag. DNFs by Ryan and David Lawson. So, as we leave the track with the last picture of the Cobra, we will go to the lobby for a moment, as Trem, our host, has to edit the starting grid for the second race. And as soon as the session timer will start to tick down, I will be back in just a moment. So the session timer has started to tick down, the customized grid is finished, and the Hungaroring is a very special thing for me to broadcast the race here. Actually, my first time that I broadcast the Hungarian Grand Prix. I have started in autumn 2020 to broadcast, but haven't been to Hungary yet. But I have been in real life. I have been here twice some years ago. Once of them I have seen the living legend Michael Schumacher racing here in Hungary. I have been right here, right in this turn on the right hand side. One of those virtual audiences that has been the little me a bunch of years ago. Right here actually, right this view on the long start finish straight. So I have a very special connection to the Hungaroring, of course. And let's see what this race 11 will bring us. Fair weather again. We have seen a few rainy events in Mogyorod, how the little village is called, that is right next to the track. We have seen some rainy sessions here, but likewise most of the races were really hot, amongst the hottest of the whole year. And this seems to be a sunny and warm race again. So this is the formation lap of our second race. Let's have a quick look about the tires again. We will see it's a bit mixed, not as red dominated as before. We see the first four on softs, then Albert De Witt, Liam and Bilton on mediums, Chris Panda on mediums and David Lawson on medium. Granty Boy this time will start on softs, so right the other way around. Granty Boy started mediums before and Panda on softs, so those two guys have switched the strategy here. The track is a very hard one, a very technical one, a lot of turns, a lot of fast turns, slow turns, everything is possible. You need a lot of downforce here, and it's very hard to overtake. There's actually just the first and second DRS zone that's right after each other. The start-finish line, the start-finish straight is a DRS zone. Then there's one turn and right the next one. And so this will be the best possibility to overtake. And yeah, let's see how things will go down the wire in these 18 laps here. Mogi and Trem in our front row. The special thing about the reverse grid is that the fastest guys will have to crawl through the race. That's of course Panda, Granty Boy and Chatty Dog. Yeah, we have seen this malfunction a few times in the last weeks. That is a glitch by the game that does somehow not allow a session to start. We have seen some online leaks that do not use an installation lab just because of this glitch. Aha, and the 5 red lights are on. And Hungary, here we go. Trem and Mogi both having an equally good start. Trem on the inside line here. And there is a Mercedes inside. It's got to be punt. Trem with troubles here. And has lost the car. A lot of debris flying in the background. Oh, that is sad. Trem had such a good starting position, has lost it all, and we have an early safety car. Hoo. Lot of stuff going on. We've seen Warren Frank leaving the session, and after he has left, the CPU finally started the race. As always, the table is confused in the early get-go, but I think it should be right, it should be correct here at this moment. That means Mogi in 1, James Punt in 2nd, and Granty Boy has rocketed up into P3. How is this possible? How is this possible? Incredible performance by Granty Boy, and I am afraid the table is correct if I say that Panda is in last position, chasing the field without a front wing. Sadly, there is no replay in live sessions. He was involved in some heavy collision action in turn 1 or 2, and yeah, well, safety car right now, that means he does not lose that much of time, but still he will be in last position then, while his big rival Granty Boy is able to chase another podium. Even has to wait here until his teammate Trem has been served. He was involved in a collision too, we saw that in the rearview mirror. So Trem is not the leader. The table will need one more intermission to update itself on the correct positions again. Mogi should be the leader. Yes, he is. Mogi, the only one who is chasing Bernd Mailänder here. And yeah, let's sum up the start a bit. Mogi in first, Punt in second. Mogi plus minus 0. Punt has won 2 positions, and Granty Boy, how did that work? Plus 6. Well, he of course had the advantage of a few guys in front of him colliding. One of them was Panda. No, he was up before in front of him, but Trem was. Then Slydog was in front of him. New UFC fan Liam. All of them colliding. Some were very early, so he just stayed out of troubles here, and that was advantage enough for him. Albert de Witt then in 4, his teammate Bilton Matt plus 2, Liam Osborne plus 5, Brian Wheeler plus 8, and Ryan in P8 plus 9. Those are the big winners of the starting phase. Another plus 8 from Lawson and Warren Frank likewise. So those were the guys who really took advantage here in the first few turns. I suppose that we will see the message soon that the safety car will be in this lap. So let's have a look again at the tires used. Because behind the safety car everyone can save some fuel, everyone can get the battery reloaded, and of course, yes, there it is, safety car in this lap, and of course everyone can ease up on the tire usage, the tire wear, and that means that maybe the softs will be able, the soft drivers will be able to conserve those tires long enough to get themselves mediums in the end, likewise for the medium drivers to get themselves softs in the end. And we are back to green here. Mogi has picked up the pace, and Granty Boy already very close to James Punt. Punt could not get rid of the Granty Boy, attacking him inside here. Next turn would be in favor for Punt. If he can get the around the corner, he does not. Granty Boy has got him, and I would like to assume it will just be a matter of 1 or maybe 2 laps until he has passed Mogi too. Granty Boy is flying again, and there has been an accident. Where is he? Where is he? James Punt, there he is, and another one. Both the McLaren collided together with who is it? Butters it is. There's Trem. Oh. Both the McLaren were involved in starting accidents. Punt still in troubles here. And Panda had some problems too. Panda, the winner of the first race, he has even a damaged front wing. Maybe he will need another pit stop right now. And I said it already, downforce is incredibly important here in Hungary. He does not. There's a lot of action going on here. We see a Haas going into the pits. No, he did not enter the pits. He ruined his race and his front wing there. And he is out now. Yes, he's out now, and this has caused yet another safety car. What an incredible phase here right now. So Punt is out, Ryan is out. And Mogi, the leader, has picked up a drive-through penalty. Oh no. Oh, so the same way Granty Boy has lost the lead in the first race, he will be given the lead now, as Mogi will have to serve a drive-through penalty. So as soon as the field will be in right here, we see both these drivers going into the pits. I wanted to say that I am interested how many people will go into the pits here, and almost everyone will. The only one who did not yet was Albert de Witt. Mogi, is this a pit stop or is this his penalty? Granty Boy gets himself medium tires. Mogi, this is a pit stop. Mogi will have to come in again afterwards to serve his penalty. Granty Boy, Mogi, Liam, Osborne, Bilton, Matt on softs, Wheeler, Darren, Mark, all those guys in the pits. David Lawson did not. Mercy Man did. So approximately half the field has been pitting here. And all of a sudden Chetty Duck is back in P3. Chetty Duck, who was involved in a start collision and dropped down a lot of places, is now back on a potential podium. And Chris Panda, at least in P14, but this is of course not where he wants to be. This is not where he needs to be to keep his championship run alive against Granty Boy. So lap 6, and we have another safety car phase again. The amount of laps behind Bernd Mailänder equal the amount of laps in green condition now. At least for the moment, but this will not stay that way, of course. So Albert de Wit, the leader, how long can he go on his mediums? I think it was a mistake from Liam not to pit his softs for laps old, but he has to stop somewhere, sometime. Chetty Duck then exits, silently crawling up into P4 because of not stopping. Trem is back in P8, Trem back into the points, back into the top 10. David Lawson then in 11, all those guys did not stop because they did already earlier. Lawson on his 6 laps old mediums, that will be a problem, so he will not stay in P11. Yeah, and then Mercy Man has just pitted, and Panda as mentioned in P11. Bran Flakes 15, Butters 16, Warren Frank 17. And we will probably see the safety car in this lap. And then Albert de Wit will dictate the pace in the last sector. Sector 3 is rather short. Yes, safety car in this lap. So Albert de Wit has only 3 turns where he is the pacemaker, so to say, warming up his tires, and then to some time he will pick up the pace, trying to shake off Liam and all the others behind him. When will he go? He will do that now. We are back to green again. No chance for an attack for Liam, but oh, Zixit's surprise Chetty Duck. That is interesting. Granty Boy, of course, Granty Boy. Zixit's surprise Granty Boy, and he counters. Granty Boy has countered that. There's another yellow. David Lawson has spun and ruined his front wing. So yes, I mentioned it earlier, his new wheel is not bringing him luck, and Zixit, who was a lot more up the field, has passed Trem here, who has spun. Oh, that's sad for him. That's really sad for him. He was back to the points, back into the the top 10. Oh, and Liam has surpassed Albert David. There's a lot of stuff going on here now. The top 4 are very close. This is the podium and the race win lying ahead of us here. Granty Boy searching the slipstream of Chatty Duck. No DRS yet. This will be activated at the end of this lap. Granty Boy is very cautiously accelerating. You can see how he's early, how early he is upshifting here. 6-6 has dropped back to P15, so he definitely does have a problem here on this track. Oh, he's close here to Chatty Dog, but you just cannot attack here. This is impossible to attack in this phase of the track. His fresher tires, his new tires are an advantage, of course, too. Showing himself in the mirror. Ooh, a touch here, maybe even damage to Granty Boy, and Mogi says thank you. Just jumps ahead of him. DRS enabled now. No DRS here as we didn't have a detection yet. Mogi is disqualified. No, oh no. He forgot to serve his drive-through penalty and Mogi is out. That's sad for him. And yeah, so Grandy Boy is back to his P4. But he lost a lot of time. He will close the gap again very soon, I would like to assume. Chatty Duck, we always see him blocking one of his front tires here and then. So he is pushing. Chatty Duck is on his limit here. We see a lot of penalties now coming in for exceeding track limits. When will Liam stop? Liam still has to stop. He is enjoying to be the race leader at the moment, but that will not last for the end of the race. Albert David already defending himself here. Granty Boy isn't too far away too. Outside attack, and both the racing points are close here. Chatty Duck on the grass a little bit. And that has caused some serious trouble for Albert David. They were really close. It seemed like David was maybe pushing him a bit far to the grass. Chatty Duck had to react on it, and that probably caused a collision. And due to that collision, Chris Panda is into the points again. Panda here on P7. P6 now. Granty Boy has a problem. Granty Boy has committed a mistake. Did he do it? No, he does not have a front wing. Granty Boy lacks a front wing. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? Pure chaos, pure havoc between both the racing points. David and Granty Boy ruining each other's race. Yeah, we didn't see it completely, but the ignition of all this chaos was the fact that Chatty Duck attacked Liam. No, Chatty Duck attacked Albert David and was pushed to the grass slightly. Duck had to come back on the inside, and we have seen both the racing points being close to each other. Duck then probably touched David, and yeah, just like the domino effect. Granty Boy and David both collided then afterwards, so yeah. It's some racing incident, I would like to call it. Has not been an unsportsmanlike conduct, has not been unfair, but this happens if you race on the limit, on the edge of possibility. And so Granty Boy is out of the points, and all of a sudden Chris Panda is in P6. Chris Panda, who has been one of the backmakers, who has been in the bottom of the field, and all of a sudden Panda would close the gap in the overall standings on Granty Boy even more, if it should stay that way, but we still have 5 plus this lap to go. So where is some action going on? We see Bilton Matt, who has had a good first race. He is close now to Chatty Duck, already in P3, and that would mean a podium for him in his second race. And maybe even more, because Liam's tires are already 10 laps old now, and I mentioned it earlier, I doubt that Liam can go through on them. And it's visible here that Duck and Bilton Mats are close to Liam, and there is the pit stop for Liam. Chatty Duck, the new leader, and Bilton Matt in P2, chasing the lead. Chatty Duck's mediums are 11 laps old too, and as we have seen him already numerous times locking one of his front tires, maybe his mediums will not make the distance too. So if Bilton Matt can make his tires go the distance, he might even win this race. What a first day of Slydog Racing League would that be for him? Granty Boy, by the way, already back into the top 10. Has just surpassed Warren Frank, who committed a mistake. No, who went into the pits. That was the reason for it. So he, Granty Boy, will acquire at least 1 point. Is 10 seconds now behind Darren Mark. But for the moment, let's stay with our leading duel here. DRS opened up. Will this be an attack? Probably not yet. Just showing himself. Maybe the attack at the end of the second DRS zone. No, Chatty Duck's acceleration is too strong for Matt to get somewhere close to him. Let's have a look at the penalties at the moment. Chatty Duck has a +5, Bilton Matt a +3. That would mean, in theory, Bilton Matt just needs to stay within 2 seconds of gap to Chatty Duck. And if he does not commit a mistake and get a penalty on his account, he would win the race over the penalties. That is possible, but I still doubt that Chatty Duck can go through on this set of tires. And Zigzitz has DNF. He's out, but no safety car this time. Chatty Duck seems to be pulling away slightly from Bilton Matt, even though Matt has the fresher, the better tires, and is DRS equipped, but still the Duck is pulling away, and we are 3 laps away from the checkered flag, and now I think the Duck will just somehow try to make the distance. I doubt that he will pit that late. But I suppose that the tires from Duck and Bilton Matt probably both will be about to fall off as soon as the race is finished. And Granty Boy is already back in P8. So Panda in 5, Granty Boy in 8. That means Panda will make up some points, but Granty Boy is trying to limit the damage on his gap in the overall standings. Bilton Matt is chasing the Duck, but cannot attack him. But as I said, he just needs to stay within 2 seconds, just needs to not pick up another penalty, and still he will be granted the race win. And Chatty Duck will pray that Bilton Matt will exceed the track limits here or there. Maybe right in the next turn. This is one vicious turn for that when the tires degrade. Nope. Bilton Matt refuses to commit the mistake. And Panda on his hards is close to Brian Wheeler here. Similar old tires, Panda but on the hards, so on the, in theory, slower tire. Let's stay with those two boys for a moment. Let's see if Panda might be able to attack him in the upcoming DRS zone. As we get closer towards the end of the race, let's get the penalties depicted. So Panda and Wheeler both with a +3. So Panda will have to decide it on the track if he wants to finish in P4. The only driver in the top 10 who does not have a penalty is Granty Boy. Yeah, no chance for Panda. No chance to attack, and in Sector 2 with those lots of turns he will probably not be able to do it too. And Bilton Matt has committed the final mistake. There it is, what the Duck was praying for. And Bilton has had another +3 seconds for exceeding the track limits. And that saves Chatty Duck in the last lap. In the last lap. This will in the end be the race win for him. And Chris Panda has spun. He probably has tried to attack Wheeler and lost a lot of time and a lot of points. So for the moment, this is the race win for Chatty Duck. Congratulations to the Duck, securing the victory in the very last lap due to the mistake of Bilton Matt, who finishes at least on the podium. Likewise to Liam Osborne, good result for him in the end. Brian Wheeler defends his P4. Chris Panda, in the end, back into P5 where he was before he spun due to penalties. New UFC fan Liam then in 6, Butters 7. Granty Boy finishes in 8 after his up and down chaotic race. P9 will be for Darren Mark. And the last point will be given to... No, the last point is given to Darren Mark in 10, as Trem jumps up into P9 due to penalties. And yeah, this is the end of the race and the second podium of the evening. Here's the race win granted to the Canadian Duck and the well-deserved champagne. So here is the final result after penalties. Slydog has won this chaotic race in front of Bilton Matt and Liam Osborne. In P4, Brian Wheeler. In 5, Chris Panda. 6 to Liam. 7, Butters. 8, Granty Boy limiting his damage. Trem in 9, 10, Darren Mark. 11 for Mercyman. 12 goes to Albert DeWitt. P13, Warren Frank. P14, Bran Flakes. P15, David Lawson. And everyone behind him did not finish. That is Zigzitz, Mogi, Ryan, and James Punt. So for the third time now we will try to end the session. The timer is ticking down once again. And for the moment I want to thank you for being with us here tonight. And as things stand at the moment, this might have been my last time broadcasting the Slydog Racing League. It has been a pleasure to stream the races. Has been very much of fun, a lot of action, some great racing over the weeks. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for giving me the chance to be with you guys. Thank you, Trem, the host and league manager. So, as mentioned, probably one last farewell from me. Have a nice evening, stay safe in these times, and keep racing.